So a friend of mine, Samuel, just sent me a story, and it's quite chilling. So Michael Schumacher's family has won compensation for what is called an AI interview. Now, what happened? You know that Michael Schumacher has not been seen in public since suffering severe head injuries in a ski accident December 2013. So that's almost 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago, right? Now, a German publication, the Aktuell, ran a picture of Schumacher on their front cover edition of April 2023. Underneath the headline, they wrote, Michael Schumacher's The First Interview. That was a strap line. And then they basically used AI to interview the guy. As in, they generated an interview with AI because the guy has been effectively comatose since 2013 December. All right. Now, when you look at the front page and then you read the story,
it's chilling.
You would think that they spoke to Michael Schumacher himself. So the family went to court and they've been awarded a 200,000 euro compensation from the publishers of the magazine, which printed an artificial intelligence-generated interview with the former Formula One driver. So they put a guy's picture on their front cover, right? And then, according to the report, it sounded deceptively real, and it emerged in the article that the supposed quotes attributed to him had been produced by AI. Now, the family spokesperson confirmed the judgment against the media group, and basically, the editor was sacked 2 days after the article was published, with the media house apologizing to the family. Now, Schumacher has been in induced coma after his skiing accident and was brought home in September 2014 with his medical condition since kept private by his family. He has won 7 Formula One titles, one during spells with Benetton and Ferrari. Right, a record jointly shared by Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton, who himself is moving to Ferrari. It's funny, and this is a digression though. When Hamilton doesn't do well, Formula One is boring. I mean, I don't even care who's winning. For many of us who were not Formula One people until Lewis Hamilton emerged, so I don't even know who's going to win this year's own, because Hamilton
Max Verstappen is going to win again.
So when Hamilton comes back, but the point is that the editor of the German magazine published an artificial intelligence-generated interview with Michael Schumacher, right? They ran the front cover with the headline of Michael Schumacher, The First Interview. A strapline underneath a smiling picture of Schumacher read, it sounded deceptively real, and it emerged in the article that the supposed quotes had been produced by AI. The article was produced using an AI program called Character.ai, which artificially generated Schumacher's quotes, and these quotes are in quotes, about his health and family. I can, with the help of my team, actually stand by myself and even slowly walk a few steps, read the supposed Schumacher quotes. My wife and my children were a blessing to me, and without them, I would not have managed it. Naturally, they are also very sad how it has all happened. Another quote. They support me and are standing firmly at my side. Schumacher's family said that they will take legal action. This was earlier, against the magazine for publishing such a lie. And they said this tasteless and misleading article should never have appeared. It is in no way It in no way meets the standards of journalism that we and our readers expect, said the managing director of the media group. Imagine that you interview. So you see where I'm going with this AI thing. That it's a double-edged sword. And my worry is that with such a gullible population we have, most people believe anything they see on social media. Somebody can use AI to interview you, and you will declare support for a political party. And they will have your voice.
And people will be insulting.
And by the time you go explain, you go tired. You spend weeks. So it's serious.
That's right.
It's serious. And this is even in the media. So a media house can generate an interview, a fake interview. How tasteless can they be?
So
it's crazy, Sky.
The truth, Bernard, the truth is that we as journalists have a responsibility, which is codified first by the Constitution of the Republic, the National Media Commission Act, and then some other regulations that are in force which affect us in one way or the other. We also have the the Right to Information Act, and then the Cybersecurity Act, and some other legislations that come into play when we are dealing with journalism. So if, as a journalist, you want to deploy the use of AI, those rules, those laws, the provisions of the Constitution should at all times be in play. It is not bad to use it, but you have to understand the ethical dimensions at play. And where you digress from them, then you'll be held accountable. In this particular case, the question is whether the guy was actually interviewed. He was not interviewed.
He was not interviewed at all. The guy is not even in a position to talk.
Let me tell you something.
And the way they quoted it, you believe that he said it.
Okay, so here you are. I just asked Meta AI to act as Bernard Avle.
Hey.
And broadcaster from Ghana.
Don't do that.
No. I'm just giving you an example.
It's a bad example. It's a very bad example.
No. It's not bad.
Okay.
So I asked the
This is the AI of Meta.
Yeah, that's it. To react to the results of the Ejisu by-election.
Why don't you let him react to the Liverpool match? Tell me what is this?
No, I'm just saying. So he says, as a neutral observer, I commend the Electoral Commission, security services, and all stakeholders for ensuring a smooth and successful exercise. The high voter turnout and enthusiasm demonstrated by the people of Ejisu reflect their commitment to participating in the democratic.
Is that supposed to be me?
That's supposed to be you. Now, the point I'm trying...
But when did I say that?
You didn't say that. The point I'm making is that you can always ask, a model, a large language model, to generate something to the extent that you understand what prompts to use and how to get it to avoid the ethical issues. But you have a responsibility on you as the user of the model to ensure transparency and compliance with ethical standards and models. So if they had declared in this article that, this is imaginary interview.
They could have said, what would Michael Schumacher have said?
Yes, something like that.
And that we asked our generative AI to simulate an interview with Michael Schumacher.
Exactly.
That would have been easy.
So that is disclosure, which comes under transparency. You understand? In which case, they would not have been caught by what the court.
Because I asked Meta AI to do a similar thing, and then after giving me quotes of you...
why are you asking him to do the same thing?
Yeah, no, just not reaction to a political thing.
We normally use ourselves.
What did you ask him?
It ends by saying, I just said, act as Bernard Avle, broadcaster in Ghana. Then it gives me what you would have said. And then it concludes by saying, note, Bernard Avle is a well-known broadcaster in Ghana, and this response is an imitation of his style and tone.
So
the content is fictional and for demonstration purpose only. So it starts by saying, hello there, I'm Bernard Avle, your favorite broadcaster from Ghana. Welcome to our show. Today we have an exciting discussion lined up for you, but first, let's take a look at the headlines. Then it says, insert news headlines. Let's now dive into our main topic. We have an expert guest.
It's okay. You are giving even more bad ideas.
So I think that the people should have indicated, as Sky
I need to say though that for me, right, next month we're doing business festival, and the first week I'll be talking about the digital economy, and I'll have a session on AI. I use AI in a very useful way. So I'm involved in many things. Like I do many Zoom meetings. All right, so I will do, because of the demands of my time, I don't get to physically go for a lot of meetings. But I have the responsibility to be present in every meeting I am in. Some of the meetings, if I'm the secretary, I have to summarize. Some of the meetings, if I'm not secretary, I have to take some action. So I have the generative AI, which is called the AI Read Assistant, what the AI Read Assistant does for me is that I'm on a Zoom meeting, it joins the meeting. And somehow this is disclosed. So I think the first time it went, I was shocked because I didn't know that it was going to join the meeting. So I went on a Zoom meeting and the AI guy was also there. Now, I told the people that, this is a generative AI that is on the Zoom meeting. And we spoke English. When we finished the meeting, it sent an email to all the people in the meeting, summarizing the key highlights of the meeting, summarizing all the questions that were unresolved, and then the action points.
Yep.
Bro,
makes your job very easy then.
Charlie? Sky, And the next they sent me an email and told me that based on that meeting, I'm supposed to do this and that and that.
Yes.
Wow.
Seriously, and the thing, we were even speaking pidgin at some point in the meeting.
So
how did this thing know? I mean, I was so surprised how it summarized the key decision points, the key questions that needed to be addressed, and then what I needed to do the next day.
Yes.
And sent me an email. Sent everybody else an email.
Yes.
I mean,
Makes life easy, doesn't it?
You see, so
But it's dangerous.
That's a quick point.
It's deadly.
so I use it though.
Yeah.
There's a quick
But
point
you're
here. So
kidding,
even
scared.
in your case,
Yes.
there's a requirement of consent.
Yes.
Yes.
So the first time I didn't know, but the next time I told them.
So the people on the panel would have to be aware.
I told them during
That-
the meeting, and they said it's cool.
You see.
They say
So
it's
once they have given their
They say it's
consent, that's
In fact, they
correct.
said one of them said wants to give him his email address so that I can also let the team email the team to him. Because he was even thinking about
Exactly.
how to do the thing.
In this particular case too, there's issue of data. So the person's contact information, the AI system you use, or
Hey.
the whatever model you use,
Yes.
had access to that. The person's probably
So because we were
email
on the
address.
thing, it emailed all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is also information which statutorily is protected. You
I
understand?
hope I haven't breached any law.
In this case, they gave you the what do you
Verbal.
call it? They allowed you to.
So
use
if you were going to regulate around that,
Yeah.
you would have said there must be clear disclosures before any generative AI is used in any meeting.
exactly.
Failing to do that is a breach of some kind.
Exactly, because people's personal information are sometimes, used by these
Strategic.
models, for purposes of enhancing its efficiency and making sure that it delivers.
So the other question is, do our data protection laws anticipate the power of generative AI and what it can do in terms of harvesting information? Because I was shocked that he sent them emails. And the funny thing is that when I was filling the thing, this is how this whole thing happened. I was on a meeting with some people from an international organization, long meeting. When the meeting ended, I realized that somebody sent me an email summarizing and inviting me to click on something.
But what's the name of the AI?
It's called Read Assistant AI or something. Read Assistant.
Okay.
So the people sent me a link, and I thought this sounds interesting. So when I click, it said click here for summary of the meeting. So basically, that was the consent I was given. So which means that AI thing recorded the meeting I took part in, and I didn't know.
Yes.
So when the meeting ended, that person sent the email, and I click and I follow the whole thing, and then I also it's like I've subscribed. And there's actually a premium version, but what I have is like a free
This is
version.
a free.
So I also, and when we don't read those, I just yes.
Accept.
So,
Got my
Read
money.
the
so
fine print.
as I said yes.
Read the fine print.
The next meeting, the next Zoom meeting I went on,
Automatically, it came with you.
I called the meeting. I said something did the thing. They call AI something assistant. I said So I even thought it was somebody who was on the thing, and the thing wasn't talking. It was just there. When we finished the meeting, so we have to start doing meetings in Ewe. Because
What's that go?
yes, I think that's the way to go about it. Because guy, the thing was just, I was shocked at the speed.
The precision too.
Look, fine. Human beings have context. So if it was my PA on that meeting, she would have the context of some of the things. But in terms of summarizing the key highlights of that meeting, telling me, in fact, what even killed me was the key questions that were unresolved.
Yeah.
How did he even know we didn't resolve those questions?
So that's the power of large language models.
And by the way,
Receiving.
we shared presentations during the. I think I know how the guy got the thing. You see, in the talking, they shared some reports.
slice, eh?
So if you like the AI take the report or
Wait,
add.
summarize them.
You see, look, you can activate even Meta AI right now.
Yeah.
And have it listening to the conversation we are having right
And
now.
write a story out of it.
And it will write a story, or it can give you a summary of the main points that have been made.
And then journalists
Except
will
it
not
will
do
not
any work.
immediately. It will not
So
immediately.
are you saying that
identify the voices
if I
involved.
give my interview with Kojo Asante
Yes.
to a certain AI,
Yes.
they can generate a news item for my website?
Look,
that
I
one
can
is
run
simple.
you a
Oh,
model.
Wilson. Then Wilson, your work.
No.
Wilson, you go to hot too.
Hold on. I can run you a model that can generate about 5 different angles to the story.
Serious.
I'm telling you. And it would advise you on the most, if you like,
Appropriate for each platform.
In
So
terms
if you are doing one for a newspaper, one for a weekend publication,
Exactly.
and one for say a tabloid,
Exactly.
it can generate all those 5.
Exactly. I am actually even running, what do you call it? As part of my project at Oxford, I'm doing something like that presently. Do you understand? So
Charlie, try the thing. Let them give you the interview with Kojo Asante, and tell AI to write a story. I want to see.
Problem no day.
Hey! But then what will happen to online writers?
Okay, so you see, let me take you to the example of Sweden. So Sweden has one of their most high-profile journalism institutions is Mint Media. Mint Media basically is an organization that is interested in the human side of stories, human interest stories, and decided sometime in about 10 years ago, if my memory serves me correctly, to go into the deployment of artificial intelligence to run its newsroom, a segment of its newsroom, and decided to deploy it in between areas of coverage. So, for instance, football, weather, the sale of houses in a particular enclave. And they have realized that by using artificial intelligence to scale up the number of stories that they produce daily, they're able to act much more efficiently compared to Caleb Kuda writing a story or Nathan Kwal sitting down to write a story. While they will have ordinarily generated about 50 stories a day, artificial intelligence can do that by generating more than 400 or 4,000 stories, as the case may be.
4,000?
Yeah, exactly. It's just about making sure that you have the data available and you have a way of sweeping through the data to be sure that, okay, the data you are using is
I'll give you another example. So, you see, what is now? I'm confused now because personally, it makes me more effective. So, I'll give an example.
But there has to be disclosure. So, in the case of the Mint Media example, for instance, there has to be the disclosure that, okay, this story was authored by artificial intelligence.
So, my question is, seeing as AI can write a story, so listeners, the way we do our work is maybe I've done an interview with Kojo Asante. The team led by Kobna Wilson will listen to the interview based on based on who I am, the fact that they know me and the way I ask my questions, and Kojo Asante is known, they will write story angles. So Kojo Asante will say, Kodio agrees for extension of voter registration. Kodio welcomes President Akufo-Addo's use of SML report. Kodio thinks that Senate sale to Bane Champon is wrong, whatever. Whatever. Then they will write the story and put it in context, and then they will also pull old stories and put links in the stories. So the human being writing a story has experience, he has knowledge. Now, what they are trying to say is that AI can do all of this, because if AI, generative AI, for example, has listened to previous interviews Kojo Asante has done, they know the issues and the context of the report. In fact, they can even put the whole SML report into the AI system. Then, in producing a story on the Kojo Asante interview on SML, they can actually do a better story. So the question we have to ask is, do we want better stories or want to give people work to do? Because if I can get that generative AI to do this story for me,
let me give you.
It means that I'm going to cut down the number of people I employ, is it not?
Let me give you the difference. So you see, in the case of the use of artificial intelligence, right? If you feed it straight up interview, and you restrict by using appropriate prompt what it should do with the transcript of the interview, it will produce a straightforward story using the parameters you have given it.
But you can expand it.
But you see, if you allow it to do its own thing, in some cases it can engage in hallucination, in which case it is making up codes and stories as it goes. You understand?
So it can be dangerous.
Exactly. So
but I'll read through it.
Oh yeah, so that is the human oversight.
So the question I'm trying to push is, what does this mean for like online journalists?
So I'll come there.
As an example.
I'll come there. So you see, in terms of context, look, I was reading a paper. On average, a human being should be able to read as much as 8 billion words if he was reading every day for the entire duration of his life. Right? Every day you're reading.
In total, 8 billion.
Yeah, that's right. But the large language models that we're talking about, they have been trained on several trillions upon trillions upon trillions of words. You understand?
So they can consume the KPMG report in 2 minutes.
Exactly.
And make sense of it.
Exactly.
So
provide you with context. So if I take your interviews over the past 10 years
Jesus.
and I transcribe them and I feed them into a large language model by training them on your interviews, how you do it, how you anticipate, and what questions how you follow up, the words you use, and all of that. What it means is that I can create a model that is able to do a story on the economy today by referencing all the historical facts you may have provided in the context. Do you understand? Yeah. So while Wilson will be able to do a story and reference 2 or 3, examples of what went wrong in the last 3 years, AI can give you the history over the last 50 years since record started.
Hey, but that poses a challenge for employers.
That's
because
true.
It means that, to be honest with you, I've been more productive in meetings with this AI thing.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons: summary of meetings and also prompting me as to what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 2, I went somewhere and they said we were supposed to do some program, and then they said we should do like a script, like an MC script. So we decided to just put the program profile into the thing and ask it to generate an MC script. Sky. The thing, it gave me 2 versions.
Yes.
It gave me concise and comprehensive.
That's right.
Imagine. So it said, hello, this is we are doing this event for the World Bank. My name is Bernard Avle. I'm coming to introduce Richard Sky. Then it has a comprehensive version where it then gives. I didn't do anything. I just put the thing in the system. So the question I ask myself is, isn't it going to make us more lazy?
No. So
because you see, this productivity point, and I'll bring Mauli in shortly. This productivity point, Sky, we thrive on using our brains. Or unless you are saying we're going to use our brains differently. Because I would have been happy to generate, for example, now I have to generate questions for an interview. So I'm going to do business festival. I'm writing synopsis for each topic. Based on what you are saying and based on what we know, I can ask the AI to generate a synopsis for me. Today, it's interesting. I'm interviewing a gentleman on AI today. Okay. Now that recording, I generated the questions myself. I was with Maximus and Napioko and we wrote the questions. Now, I could have asked AI to generate the questions for me, which may have been easier, but it loses my touch, right?
No, you see, so here's the thing. Context is very, very important, right? So if you train the model to understand the context, the historical context, all the factors relevant for purposes of doing the task that you've asked it to do, then it will be able to deliver optimal response.
But how long do I need to train it?
No, I mean, it doesn't take like...
So you are saying now the new skill is not knowing my work, but knowing how to train AI to do my work.
Exactly. So for instance, what are you most efficient at? Should you sit down and be thinking, oh, should I call Nimoy Thompson? Oh, should I call...
like yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
Call Bob Watson, call this guy, put the panel together, write a synopsis.
Exactly. But let's say, for instance, you've trained a large language model to know the people in Ghana who are
can
truly
talk on
economics
issues
oriented persons on a subject matter, right? And it has all of that information. Now, when you're feeding information or a prompt asking that,
I want to do an interview on the currency and those things.
Exactly.
It will give me the name.
Reading through that,
generate a synopsis for me.
Within 30 seconds, it should be able to tell you that because of A, B, C, D, these are the...
So how do I train the AI model to do that?
Well, I mean, you have to come to me for consultation.
Mauli,
I'm paying so much money.
So Mauli is part of our online...
I wanted to make this point. When you were raising the issue about Wilson and online journalists. No, because AI has certain generic words, language that it uses. You may train it, but there are certain times that, or there are certain languages that, or words that it uses that are very, very generic. And if you are running a website, Google, for instance, since last year, has banned certain websites because they noticed that the stories they were churning out were AI generated. And when these...
they can tell?
Oh, yes. So, based on the language, they also have their own...
So, they can tell if the story is not done by a human being.
It's not done by a human being. So, in as much as the AI can generate a story for you, you must go in there and humanize it.
Humanize it.
Let me just...
Sky, let me finish this point. Because some of the language sounds spammy and they are very hard.
Generic.
They are, you can tell that this was... The last time I was showing Sky, somebody was paying a glowing tribute to someone on their birthday. And when I read it,
you knew it was
I
AI.
just showed it to Sky and I said, Sky, look at this. This is AI. When he saw it, he was like, oh, yeah. Because
so you're able to tell?
Oh, yes.
You can tell. You see, there's a way of getting...
Wait. Tell AI that my birthday was Monday, and that they should wish me happy birthday. I want to see what they will say.
Okay, do that.
And then also tell him how to train it to know who I am. Or he knows me already.
No, it has information on you. Those that have access to the internet have enough information on you to do a passable job.
We need to do the topic, the ethics of AI.
Yeah, so providing it with further information, context, and other matters will help you generate the best possible responses.
Wow.
What do you call it? What Mauli was saying, you can also have a way of getting around that issue if you are a proper prompt engineer.
Okay, so that's the word.
So, for instance, I have fed the model with stories that Citi News has done over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've asked it to internalize those stories. In other words, to memorize them, to learn how we deploy the language, blah, 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 the choice of words that we use, words that we don't tolerate, how we use our codes, and all of that. And how we use Citi News, how we spell it, and all of that. Now, if we ask it, based on the history that it has learned, and restrict it to just the information as provided for purposes of training, it will not go into what Mauli was talking about.
It will go into it because AI-generated content tend to... There are some cheat codes when it comes to the search engine optimization.
That's true.
So it gives you content that will push your stories up there on the Google trends. And Google has now discovered ways in which these content are easily identifiable.
Yeah, but what I'm
you
telling
understand?
you is that
So where you be faulted will be that even though the AI generates the news for you, all right, your SEO for a human being doing it will be so high that it will be detected. And that's what Google is fighting now.
No, I understand where you are coming from. I understand what you are coming from. But I'm just saying that depending on how you have phrased the prompt, depending on the level of training, you can confine
these platforms that were banned were people who were doing it at the level you are talking about. But the humanization of the content is what Google is fighting now.
Even on the matter of humanization.
Yeah. Before Caleb
there are
reads,
models that can even humanize what is generated by artificial intelligence. You understand?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Even if it is generated by AI,
can I get AI
humanizes it
to tell me your thinking around the issues I discussed today? They are all legal issues, right?
If it studies,
so for example, can AI predict what you will say on the president's release of the KPMG report?
If it studies how I have argued over the past 10 years or more on this show, it can do a reasonable degree of
but that's what happened with the interview, the story that led to this discussion, because the story was so good that people believe that.
This is how Schumacher talks?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. There's a data set I just wanted to put out on some broad numbers. I don't know if Nathan has it. So PwC did a work. All right, they did a job on 2024 AI jobs barometer. How AI affect job skills, wages, and productivity.
Yeah.
And then the headline findings are that 25% of jobs that require AI specialist skills carry up to 25% wage premium in some markets. Sectors with the highest AI penetration are seeing almost 5-fold greater labor productivity growth.
Yep.
Rising labor productivity can generate economic growth, higher wages, and enhanced living standards. So sectors like our sector have AI penetration because AI is very applicable to what we do.
So in this case, what we can restrict it to: 1, transcription of voices; 2, writing story ideas; 3, interpretation of data; and then also writing generic and common stories, sports.
We should restrict
business.
it.
Yeah, we can use them in those areas. Now, when it comes to, say, investigative journalism,
they can't
AI
do that.
will not do that. What it can do for you is to look at a data that is about 2 million pages long and then distill for you
the Panama Papers.
Exactly where the key issues
Let
are.
me give you more information. Growth in jobs that require AI specialist skills has outpaced all jobs since 2016, well before ChatGPT brought fresh attention to AI, with number of AI specialist jobs growing 3.5 times faster than all jobs. Skills sought by employers are changing at a 25% higher rate in occupations most able to use AI. To stay relevant, workers in these jobs will need to build or demonstrate new skills. Now, let me just read more around the productivity part, because that's where I'm interested. So, basically, they are saying that financial services, IT, and professional services have higher AI exposure and higher AI penetration. And the data shows that these two sectors are seeing nearly 5 times faster productivity growth than sectors with lower AI exposure, such as transport, manufacturing, and construction. So think about this way. If you're a mason, it's more difficult for AI to take over your job than if you're an accountant.
Wait.
Generally.
Okay.
Right? Generally. So they are saying...
Because there's 3D printing of houses now.
No, but the mason work, the mason has to do the laying of the brick.
What I'm saying is that the laying of the brick,
let's not split hairs. You see, they are saying that, I get what you're saying, but they are saying that some sectors have higher AI exposure.
Which is true, yes.
Not potential, AI exposure and higher AI penetration. That means that as we speak, people are using it more. Yes. So if you are in financial services, it has higher AI penetration and exposure. IT, higher AI penetration and exposure. Professional services like law and all these, marketing, branding. If you compare that to, say, transportation, yes, you can have a driverless car, but generally the penetration is lower.
Well, we'll get to a point where...
We are talking about what persists, not what the potential is. Well, do you understand? How many people in Ghana have driverless cars?
Just a matter of...
As that means how many accountants can use AI to help them analyze their books.
Just a matter of...
So, for example, I'll give an example. I'm a business journalist and bank statements are released. Last year, I spent like 1 week going through bank statements to generate stories for an editorial.
Yeah, so the question is whether that is optimal use of your time.
Imagine if now with this AI that I found, just throw it in and say, give me 3 trends you see in this, or flag newsworthy stories from this bank statement, or this bank's end of year financial report. So it makes my work easier. Yes. I think it may make me lazier, but you are saying the training of the AI is also part of my work.
And then also, you see, what it will help you do, which is what is critical, is that we find better use of your time. You understand what I'm saying?
Who told you that doing that my previous work is not good use of my time?
No, Bernard, if you sit down, you call me, Charlie, Sky, I beg, I want to interview somebody in Parliament. Who do you think will speak better on this particular matter? You are relying on me on the basis of the years of practice I've had in that house and my knowledge of how things work there and the individual.
Let's use the bank, a bank's end of year profit and loss, or a bank's financial statement. The process of reading the statement, understanding it, comparing it to other bank reports, comparing it to what the Bank of Ghana has said about the banks, target set, is learning for me.
Which is true.
Do you understand? So I'm a big, because that whole process makes you understand in a very organic way the way the bank's financials are arranged. Helps you to see the differences in the banks in a way that is enriching for you.
Yes.
Now, if I let AI do it for me, I can still come out and share the insights. I'm like I'm some intelligent guy, but I think I'm cheating myself, because that then means that I don't go through the process of actually studying the thing myself. That's my worry.
Okay, so you see, previously we were doing mathematical calculations without a calculator, right? And then some brilliant guy decided to invent the calculator, and people decided to turn to the calculator. There are people who still traditionally do many of their calculations mentally, right? Back of the envelope calculation, they come to a result. But people who use or rely on the calculator, all they do, the principles of mathematics and all of that, are much more efficient at doing the calculations and moving to other things.
I agree
rather
with you.
than staying with,
Is it a good analogy for what I've said? Because you see, in using a calculator, you learn the basic times table. But if I'm multiplying 274,000 by 65, I don't chew it in my head. I use a method, long multiplication. So the calculator just releases a long multiplication. But I still understand why that result was given. It's not the same as saying that I have the financials of 5 banks. I've spent a week going through, underlying the numbers, comparing it to previous financials, and coming up with stories that are newsworthy. If AI does it for me, so imagine if I have a team, Caleb, Nathan, and co, who now say, Aloski, explain why this bank is doing better than this bank. I can tell them what AI said, but I don't know it myself because I haven't studied it myself.
Okay, so let me explain here respectfully. So you see, you spend 3 hours reading a document that is about this thick, right? You are reading there is of blah, 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 all of these words, just so the person can make sense as to what he's communicating.
Yeah.
Now you get a large language model which is able to read all of that within minutes and then tease out for you where the key issues are. So all the introduction that may not be necessary, which is not good for your purpose, the key details are summarized for you. Now you internalize that as a person. So you have become knowledgeable on the subject matter as to what exactly are the key issues driving the economy.
I push back on that last example.
Okay.
And I think the answer depends on what you want to achieve. Yesterday, before I did a point of view, I read the statement of case of the people who are taking the matter of treasury bills and Amable and Co. They were saying that basically it
should come under 180.
So they were basically making a case to the Supreme Court that they should enforce their original jurisdiction to declare some sections of the Public Financial Management Act and the Bank of Ghana law inconsistent with the Constitution. It took me like an hour to read, understand, and underline. Okay. So I think I've enriched myself.
Which is cool.
So my objective is not just the speed of having because Sky, what they did was they went through the 1969 Constitution, they went through 79, they quoted various, and I'm not a lawyer, but I enjoyed reading it because I learned a lot because I understand economics a bit. So they brought all those things. It was very beautiful. Okay. Now you are telling me that a large language model could have prepared me for that interview in 5 minutes by letting me glean
the key essentials.
But you see, that's the question. The question is that is only true if my objective is just to prepare for an interview.
Which is the case.
My objective in life is not just to prepare for the interview. My objective is to know and understand the thinking of the lawyer.
Okay.
Do you get my point? So I'm just trying to qualify what you're saying. Productivity is great. I could have done that in 5 minutes. But the pleasure of reading that thing, using a blue and a pink marker to underline salient points. He quoted something at the end which was beautiful. He said, somebody said that the 3 arms of government, independence doesn't mean they don't work together. And I don't know, it was a beautiful quote. I have it. Independence doesn't mean they don't work together, and therefore they must be interdependent. It was lovely. I highlighted it. I may even use it one day when I'm doing business sense. Do you get me? Because the way the mind works is that your mind stores knowledge, and then when the situation arises, you use it. Now, for somebody like me who reads and listens to things a lot, and the spontaneity of my quotes, if AI were to summarize that 50-something page thing for me and I do a good interview, I still think I've lost because listen to me, what I am looking for in reading that thing is very peculiar to who I am as a person.
Which is true.
So the quote that and I can even read it for you. The quote that I got, which I will use one day, and the way they even, it was just beautiful. So for me, yes, AI can make you more productive, but what is productivity to you? That's number one. Number two, what do you want to achieve as a person? Because for me, as a morning show host, knowledge has intrinsic value.
Which is true.
Speed is not always what I'm looking for. And because I'm not a lawyer and I deal with a lot of legal issues, reading legal documents enriches my knowledge. I just don't want the summary. You can do the summary because you already understand the philosophy of the law. But I don't want to go to the interview with only the summary. Because if the thing becomes critical and asks you some questions, I have to go to the page. You understand? So I'm not saying AI is not good though, but we have to be careful not to over push this productivity matter.
You see, Bernard, I think we're saying the same thing, except that maybe it's a way of communicating it. You see, AI cannot do everything, but it is better at doing many things than you, Bernard Avle, sitting here.
Not everything. You can't laugh like the way you laugh.
You can
Someone also says if it doesn't say 2 things, then it's not better.
The reason is that, you see, this document that you have read,
beautiful document.
You see, you have read it as,
46
with
pages,
the greatest respect, a layman. and you understand many things.
I enjoyed it.
You see.
Yes.
But you see, a large language model that understands the history and philosophy of Ghanaian jurisprudence would have a better appreciation of what exactly is contained in the document. You understand?
Yeah.
As opposed to you, a non-lawyer, reading it and finding certain things beautiful. The same large language model, properly trained on Ghanaian law and jurisprudence for that matter, can highlight, there are inconsistencies in the document. I'm not saying that in this document there are inconsistencies. Yeah. But you, because you are not trained, you will not come to that conclusion. You are not.
That's what I'm saying, because what I'm looking for. I'm preparing for an interview, and the reading of it is to, you see, we are asking the same question two different ways. You are a lawyer. And for you read head notes. Because you have so many cases to read. So you are going to do a case at the Supreme Court, and you need as much knowledge as you want. I am a journalist who wants to understand the context
of a particular.
Do you understand? So for you, reading this 46 statement of case is not new knowledge necessarily. You are using it as a tool to ground your argument, to add other laws to make your case. I am trying to understand a new body of knowledge. As a journalist, yes, and here's the quote, by the way. Justice Jackson puts it in his concurring opinion in the Youngstown Sheet case. The actual art of governing under our Constitution does not and cannot conform to judicial definitions of the power of any of its branches based on isolated clauses or even single articles torn from context. While the Constitution diffuses power, the better to secure liberty, it also contemplates that practice will integrate the dispersed powers into a workable government. It enjoins upon its branches separateness but interdependence, autonomy but reciprocity. Presidential powers are not fixed but fluctuate depending upon their disjunction or conjunction with those of Congress. Beautiful. I mean, for me, what I learned from here, imagine, I could have done the whole case for me, probably quoted part of it and may have not.
You see, it would have, let me give you a typical example. This quote, profound as you see it, AI can still isolate that for you in a 10-page summary or a 3-page summary, depending on what you ask it to do. And you can... and you can still be the better for it without reading the entire document. What I'm saying is that, look, you see, time is money.
Yes.
Right? Time is money. You should not sit down and be bogged down. What everything.
Time is money, but knowledge is also power.
No, you see,
so which one is more powerful?
Bernard, the issue is that the knowledge as we call it, all of human knowledge now, one that is written, that we know, which has been reduced to writing, is fed into all the models that we are using to a large extent. There are years that have not been covered. These are recent years. So you sitting here as Bernard Avler, you cannot be more intelligent than all of human knowledge put together and fed into one model. The only reason that you may do better is because you have certain humanized creativity.
I'm more creative than the machine.
Exactly.
So tasks that can be replicated. So I think your point is fair. For repeatable
mundane
task or data, big data kind of things, human mind is not necessarily used for that. So as I always tell you, I use my mind for creativity and not for storage. Right? So, and I also tell you that knowledge is only useful if you can retrieve it. So AI is great for that, but I always want to separate the knowledge of creativity from the knowledge of repetition, and the knowledge of spontaneity from the knowledge of predictable behavior. So for me, and I think your point about human beings guiding it is crucial. Right? So 2 final comments. Employers must decide what they want to achieve. As I always say to you, we don't work only because, or we don't create jobs only because we want to make money. We also create jobs because we want to give people a life. Do you understand? So when people talk about AI and productivity and all of those things, there are many things we can do without people. But we come to work with people because people satisfy not just a productivity need, but also a social need. Right? So when I come and Caleb gives me a Hausa cook and I'm drinking and we are chatting and I'm teasing it about Man U, I don't come to work only because I want somebody to come and help me read the news. Do you get my point? So we always need to balance the so-called productivity and efficiency motives for work with the human, because some people, maybe they are alone in the house, the only place they have fun is work. Come and talk to friends. So productivity is important for some of us in Africa, but we've survived over the years despite low incomes because of community. And AI cannot reproduce community. So in applying it to whether you're a journalist, a law firm, or whatever.
Specific instances, it can.
Oh, please.
Oh, no, better. You see, again, that it goes.
Okay.
No, I just want to.
Just read the birthday message. Read the. No.
Yeah, give me 30 seconds. It's okay. 30 seconds.
It's okay.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Oh, this is not an issue.
30 seconds. You see,
AI will
there are
not
people
ask
who
for 30 seconds.
There are people who act to
community.
No, wait, please. There are people who come to the work environment and go back worse off. Because people are backbiting, people are saying all kinds of things, gossiping.
So AI will not backbite. AI will not gossip.
You understand? AI will not
Are
do
you
that.
kidding me? Stop it. I know. Look, there's an exception to everything, but you don't have to be ridiculous in what you're saying. I mean, what are you telling me? That AI. So me and Nathan are chatting. He's eating wachi, and he's talking about Chelsea sacking Pochettino. He's always pulling his hair out over Man U, jogging, and you are telling me that. I mean, stop.
No, you see, I'm saying that.
I mean, can anything replace Nathan in my life? AI. Oh, stop it.
You see, Nathan is the lead research guy at Citi FM, right?
He doesn't only serve that purpose.
No, I understand.
We also chat.
No, I understand.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that.
Yes.
What I'm just trying to say is that it should not be a blanket statement that AI cannot confer community.
Why has AI given you some money?
No. You see,
why you love AI like that?
No, you see, I because I am a student of the space.
Yeah, but you shouldn't study it to set.
No.
Hey.
I'm not. I'm basically saying that. I'm basically saying that. Let's allow room for some of these areas to develop as well.
Right.
Because as we speak, there are people whose only companion in life is to go to.
But that's not the ideal. You can't replace a human being.
No, I understand.
You can't replace a human being.
I understand that, but you see,
AI cannot bring
there's
babies
a
for you.
downside to having a human in your life.
Oh, but there's downside to everything. You see, the fact that there's a downside to everything in your life doesn't mean that thing can be replaced by AI.
So for some people, they want to replace.
Can AI make a baby for you?
For some people, they want to replace that entirely.
Yeah, but we don't want to be those people. We want to be generic and organic.
Yeah, but
we want to be true to creation.
So allow room for those people.
No, but you don't make the exception the rule. I agree. You are pointing exceptions, but the fact that they are bad people doesn't mean they should be replaced by machines.
Exceptions used over time by a progressive number of people become the general rule.
Oh, please.
Bernard, so this is what I've done. You see the SML GRA report that the presidency has released is over 300 pages. Yes. So I put the link in Meta AI and asked for a summary. It gives me a half pager. But then I asked for a comprehensive highlight of the report. Then it gives me more details. And this is more like a page and a half. Wow. So it has the background, it has the findings, it has the recommendations, and then it has conclusion. So, I mean, for the 300 pager, you can get the highlights.
It will make people lazy.
Yeah, I get that.
So just know how to use it and how to use it. And be optimal.
The way you are going about this AI thing is too much.
Okay. Here and now, I won't talk about artificial intelligence on this program.
You've just confirmed my theory. Life is not black and white. The fact that I'm saying you are into AI too much doesn't mean you should stop doing AI. I'm just saying simmer down. So you see things in very contrasting forms. So either AI is good or AI is bad. I'm not saying AI is bad. I'm saying AI is good. You're over pushing it. That's all I'm saying. You're over pushing
AI. With the
AI.
greatest respect, I think you are.
Let me withdraw.
Yes, you are mischaracterizing what I've said.
You're overhyping AI.
No. I've responded to generic statements that you have made.
Yes, please.
And introduced nuances. And to admit to you that, there are cases where your view may be valid, only to a point. That is not to say that I have a black and white.
I get it.
No.
But I'm saying that you sometimes... I want an English word. Anyway, just read the AI message and let's move. Let's make progress.
The birthday message, you know. Okay.
Yes, AI generated birthday message.
Yeah. So it first gave me a generic one, and I asked for one done in Richard Sky's tone. Obviously, it wasn't the feel wasn't the same. It didn't give me the laughter I wanted.
Maybe hallucination.
Yeah. So here is a birthday message.
Let's just hope that the day you need it to make a decision is not hallucinating.
You see, that's why you need a trained mind.
It's okay. Hey, Richard, the last guy.
Bernard, AI is wishing you happy birthday. It says happy birthday to the one and only Bernard Avle. wishing a wonderful day to an exceptional broadcaster, a champion of truth, and a voice for the voiceless. May this new year of life bring you continued success, wisdom, and impact. It says your dedication to journalism and your passion for telling the stories that need to be told are an inspiration to many. Here's to another year of insightful conversations, thought-provoking discussions, and making a difference in the lives of Ghanaians and beyond. Cheers to you, Bernard.
The thing you did for me on Monday. Can you compare this thing to that?
The Mao Sobolisa.
This Mao Sobolisa thing you prayed with the anointing generated. Then you're going to write this thing and come and tell me that. Hey, Master. Master. No. The anointing came on you. That Sky generated birthday on the spot request with Mao Sobolisa.
Yeah,
it can even be a ringtone. Let's read a few comments. And then we wrap up on the AI. I have a big interview with Apollonia Citi coming up. Their open day is happening shortly. Caleb, help me with some quick comments.
Sky, if it doesn't say two things, it's not Bernard Avle. Good morning, Aloski and team. The critical role of data in the advancement of AI is undeniable. However, in Ghana and across much of Africa, a significant challenge lies in the fact that a large portion of our data exists in hard copy format, not readily accessible for digital analysis. How are we positioning ourselves to take advantage? Used AI, you say. Good morning, Bernard and team. I'm loving the discussion as always. For me, AI can and has helped us a lot. My only worry is the enormous amount of data that the owners of these technologies have. We need a lot of watchdogging to ensure that collectively we are ensuring the ethical use of our information. My particular interest has been in how technological advances have a way of taking us back to who we are and how we are supposed to be. Talk of ethics, standing up to our capabilities and pushing ourselves to a certain edge of excellence.
Okay.
I believe everything boils down to the standards we all want to build on as a society. Everything comes back to us. Swansea from Osu.
More comments.
Hello, Bernard.
Morning.
AI even has records of our bedrooms. Okay.
Bedroom activities.
Okay. And the people we are with.
Where does he get it from?
It is the most dangerous thing that has happened to us in the beginning of our end. Elon Musk said it is more dangerous than the pandemic.
Are you serious?
All those people who use you get home, play this, play that.
Those what do you call it?
What's the name? Alexa,
Google Alexa assistant.
Yeah, there are concerns about listening in
to your conversations.
What happens
and your nocturnal activities.
There are concerns. There are concerns in those.
You go chop hot.
And even your phone.
Are you seriously? Oh my God.
There are concerns. I'm saying there are concerns.
Yeah,
you have to grab the law quickly. You have to rein in. You have to write the letter.
Bernard, AI is the way to go. I've been struggling for some basic information for the last 2 months. I have to call I had to call so many people to help, but I couldn't get help. I was shocked to the bone when I consulted AI just yesterday. I'm so shocked and extremely excited at the results. In fact, this is so good. Yeah. Francis from Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, but the caution there is, like I said, hallucination is a reality.
Yeah, to me, bottom.
You should be careful. You should be careful what information it is returning. Yeah, because there are times you ask it something, if it doesn't know it, it will pretend it knows it and give you something.
Be careful.
Kobla AI. I think what Richard is trying to say is that it makes you more productive, not necessarily better use of your time. You can do more within a small time without AI. Good morning, Bernard and team. Can you please mention the name of the AI tool you use for your Zoom meetings again?
Somebody even sent another one. It says if you use OnPassive's O Connect for your virtual meetings, this AI feature is already integrated in the system. It's a very effective platform I would recommend. So look for O Connect, and it's from a company called OnPassive. This is from a listener, Alphonse, I think. So OCONNECT. O Connect is an AI tool you can use. Okay. I think the one I use is called the AI Read Assistant.
Right.
All right. So that's also pretty good.
Right. AI Read Assistant.
Yeah. Let's read a few more. A few people are really interested. Hello, Bernard. I'm smiling at how you've been wowed by AI. I've been at the forefront of this at the University of Ghana, facilitating a training for faculty, research and teaching, administrative staff, and for graduate students. I welcome the opportunity to run a training for your outfit for all departments. So they can find the best way of using AI. It has come to stay. What brings out the best out of AI today is giving it the right prompt. The course is called Prompt Engineering, which Kai refers to. That's what you call it.
Yeah,
so it's a prompt engineer.
Yeah. So you need. So initially the thinking was that you should train to become a prompt engineer, and that will give you optimal pay and all of that. But the difficulty here is that the models are even able themselves to generate for you what in their view is a more efficient prompt.
Wonderful.
And that will be better than what a human being would have sat down to craft.
Let me read this one and think what you think. Bernard, AI is a tool for speed and efficiency. It cannot be a substitute for one's knowledge. You must have proficient knowledge in the subject you are engaging AI with, else if the AI is not giving you accurate information, you may not even know.
That's true.
I need to know who you are in order to appreciate the information AI would give me about you.
Yes.
Else I risk taking whatever AI gives me hook, line and sinker, and that is wrong.
That's why I said to you that you as a non-lawyer reading a document, you are wowed by many things.
Oh, you think I'm deceived, man? No, the document was nice, Sky. The document was nice, Sky.
No, I just think...
The document was very nice.
This is what I think. I think having knowledge of a subject helps you write better prompts, and then you can manipulate AI to help you, right? Yeah. So I believe that's always key. Having great knowledge of an area. So when you are probing, so for example, that's why if Sky came across a 50-page document, he would, because he already has the grounding in the law, it's very easy to build on that or use that, what we call intellectual baggage or legal baggage to sift.
No, we agree. We are looking for different things in that document.
The term for it is augmented intelligence.
All right, let's wrap up with
Good morning, Bernard and team. Can you... Okay, we've gotten that. I have become more productive thanks to AI. AI makes the world a lazy place to be. The pocketeous element of education is taken out and will be missed. Oh, yeah. AI makes square pegs appear fit for round holes. This is dangerous for our society. Nano blowing. There's hashtag kick against AI. Okay, Yakubu Ibn Chambers from across, and that it takes human intelligence HI to use artificial intelligence AI. Okay, so if you are not knowledgeable in a subject, you cannot identify errors in AI generated text, and AI actually makes you more intelligent. AI is just a smart personal assistant. Richard Akko at Mortar.
Wonderful.
Hey, why? Tell me, do you guys specifically pay Richard Sky to split hairs, disagree, and take the most extreme and unlikely position on all issues? Because, hey,
it's the style I use. I just worry the trouble
Bernard, please mention the name of your AI. We've mentioned that.
Karim has a conspiracy theory. It says Sky is an agent of Skynet who's traveled back in time.
No, you see, I'm simply encouraging people to go and learn about it and use it for their purposes once they comply with the requirements of their
Bernard, someone says some of the messages that are coming through are AI generated.
which is sometimes true.
Yeah, no, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. We'll do a few quick announcements.
Yes.
No, I enjoy the way you have taken time to study this AI thing, because it's something that we need to learn about. It's come to stay. You know, now I'm working with it. So I have to do a synopsis. I'm even thinking whether I should write it myself or tell the thing to do it for me.
No, you just write it yourself. It would add your...
No. I'll write it myself. It's write it for me.
Instead of going to write it, if you write it yourself, the Galamseda would have given you 50,000. You would have forgotten it.
No, it will write it for me, and then I will get more money.
To take the money.